for any of you who would like to share something, if you'd like to, come forward and take a few moments to share whatever's on your heart. If you do so, just introduce yourself real quick. Share with us on a little piece of Stephanie that we may not otherwise get to hear. And I think it bless the family a lot to hear more of it. So, is there anyone who'd like to share anything? Yeah, come on down.
My name is Kevin Gray. I'm a performer at Disneyland. I knew Stephanie in front of the Golden Horseshoe Swing for the last couple of years, and I'll tell you, she was a channel of God's love in this world. She touched the hearts of thousands of people coming through those doors. As a performer in there, and anybody that would come in would have to pass by her beautiful smile and her shining, lovely personality. And I was working at that actual party, not the night that you were down there, Pastor, but when we heard the news about her. She was an absolute gift and a blessing. And I know that it was very, very short. But I just want the family to know that she meant the world to us down at the Golden Horseshoe Swing. And what an honor and a blessing it was to know her. She was a shining example of God's love. And I just think at this moment, I think about C.S. Lewis said that there are far, far better things ahead than any that we leave behind. And the saddest moment that we have is that we don't get to see you now. But as your aunt said, that I know that you're rejoicing in heaven with the angels. Thank you for this special gift that you gave to us.
Hi. Thank you. My name is Caitlin. She knew me as a kid, and I called her Wolf because that was who she was. She was a free spirit and ran her own thing. I met her during Not Scary Farm for my second year, her first year, and it was one comment, one silly comment, and we were best friends forever from that moment. She was wearing a SpongeBob shirt and was dancing with a tuxedo. If anyone remembers that shirt, you know what I'm talking about. I was like, you look fancy, and it just clicked. And it was fate that I got that maze, because I did not pick where I was going to go. I picked a different one, and they were like, no, you're going here. And I was like, okay. And it was a blessing to be able to meet my best friend in less than a day, and we clicked. We just clicked. Me and her, Joshine, we went, and it was really random because she invited me, let's have a sleepover, and I don't know you, but sure. And random trips to a store and putting on masks and dancing around the store waiting to get kicked out because that's what we're going to do. Even though we're 20 over in our 20s, we're still going to do this. And throughout that whole month before I left to NorCal, we spent almost every single day together going to Disneyland, and we actually having her talk to the two people she admired most as a character. If anyone doesn't know, it's Jack and Sally. And I remember her telling me, I can't do it. The last 3 years I've just been sitting here on this bench staring at them and every move they make. If I can't do it, I was like, you're doing this right now. And she even took a selfie with them, and it was just one of those moments. And me fangirling over Peter Pan and Thor on the same day, and her secretly videotaping me the whole time, and I had no idea. And I was just like, it's pretty ridiculous. It's all over her Facebook, but she was one of my best friends and the light of my life. If I had a problem, there's FaceTime and there's her. And if she didn't pick up, she'd call in the next 5 minutes and I'd end up missing her call. And we just go back and forth all the time. She was my savior in moments where I thought I had no one. She was the person that would light up my world, and it's all because of her that I'm really connected with Stephanie. She's my wolf, and she's the strong person in my life. Even when she's gone, she's in my dreams. Every single night, she won't go. She just is there, and she won't go. But I want to say thank you to everyone in her life, because if it wasn't for you guys, she wouldn't be the person she was. Thank you.
I'm Sasheen. I met Stephanie last year in September. We were kind of drawn to each other because it was my first year working at Not Scary Farm. It wasn't mentioned, but we also worked at Not Scary Farm. She worked at Disneyland and Not Scary. She was a very good monster. So she's very, very scary. Like I said, we were kind of drawn to each other. We were just walking around. We didn't know anybody, and we're just like, okay, you and me, we're gonna be friends right now. On Saturday, I was planning to go to Disneyland, and it was kind of hard for me, but I knew that she would want me to go anyways, and she would want me to live my life for myself and for her. It was strange because I felt like I kept seeing her. Like I was like, no, wait. But I think it's because you had such a big impact on my life, Steph, and I really miss you. Sorry, I'm not good with the speech thing. But and she was wonderful, beautiful friend, beautiful life, beautiful soul.
Hello, my name is Alex, and I'm one of the neighbors of Stephanie, the last place that she lived here in Long Beach. I first want to give my condolences to the family, to those that I've already met, and to those that I have not, cousins. I think it's a beautiful way to express yourselves as being siblings and not just cousins. As a pastor, I feel your emotion when you talk. As a man, as a family member, and as a friend, I just want to let you guys know, I've known Stephanie for less than 3 months, and she had another family in addition to her immediate family. She had what we call the bungalow family. That's what we call where we live. And within those 3 months, she's made an incredible impact on all of us for the better. She would always make herself available if you needed to express yourself, and she wasn't shy about expressing herself, and especially in dance. She was quite a sight to see. I was privileged to, take part in the last few hours of her life. And when I got the news, of course, we didn't know how bad things were. I was only asked to, if I knew how to get to the hospital, to give AJ the directions. And I didn't hesitate to take him. I appreciate him allowing me to be there with him and for him. Throughout the night, the Bungalow family, we were quite a sight. In the hospital, they really didn't know how to handle us. We were determined to find out something about our friend. And we went through big, incredible strides to make contact with the family. It took a while, several minutes, several hours. And then we received the news. We gathered again and went back to the hospital to wait for the family, to try to offer some type of condolences to them. I mean, in anticipation, my mind and my heart was all over the place about what would I say to her mom. I never met her mother, and I would be a complete stranger to her. But I have to tell you, I was very, very impressed by her brother. His strength gave me the strength to stand as a man and try to give condolences to his mom. He wasn't a child that day. He stood as a man for his sister and offering his heart and condolences to his mom. To say that she will be missed is an understatement. And again, some may wonder, well, how can someone feel so passionate for only knowing her for such a short period? But I think you all know that. If you know her, everything that was said by the pastor, everything that was said by the family, it was deeply appreciated, giving us another avenue, another level to love her. And I say to all of you, to the family, to the young lady, the cousin that's going through a difficult time expressing yourself right now, take pride in your family member, because she gave us a lot of pride. Job well done to all.
I met Stephanie at the college program. She was one of my roommates. And we met because we were both the only night owls, or the ones staying up till 1 or 2 in the morning despite having to work early. And we wore the same kind of clothes, and we had the same kind of interest in movies and books. And she was like my first real connection at the Disney College program. I learned a lot from her and from Tiffany. I was very shy, and I was very scared to go out, and they showed me how you can have fun, and still be safe doing it. And there's a lot of experiences in that college program I would not have done if it was not for them. And I remember after the college program, I had to go back to Tucson, Arizona, and she was going to stay here in California. We hugged goodbye, and she said, "We'll be friends forever, right?" And I said yes. And she also was good friends with me, and my boyfriend was here with me. She kind of helped us get together too. And every year since the college program, the last 3 years, we come down and see her. Every October, we go see a horror movie and like Paranormal Activity, despite how stupid it was. And go to Not Scary Farm and go to the mazes. The last time I saw her was in June. We came down for a couple of days, and we met her here in Long Beach, and commented how amazing it was. She was just like 10-minute walk away from the beach, and we spent some time there, and she showed us around, and then we went to Six Flags. And it's funny because she didn't want to go because she couldn't afford it, but we dragged her along anyway, and I'm so glad that we did. And she's just so energetic, like my boyfriend and I and his brother were like dragging our feet, we're tired, and she's like, "Come on guys, another ride, come on, we can do it." And you draw so much strength and energy from her, and I'll never forget you, Stephanie. I love you so much. Thank you. Hi, I'm Alicia. I worked with Steph at the Golden Horseshoe. We all worked with her together at Disneyland. The first time I met Steph was when the Golden Horseshoe review started. We were both on transitional. And I could never be thankful enough to meet someone like her. I was such a negative person before her, and she completely changed. Sorry. She completely changed my life. Yeah. The day after we all found out that she was gone, I've never seen Riverfront, which is our working area in Frontier, so quiet. It was just, you could tell she played a huge part in all our lives. I do remember though a lot of the funny memories that we had working there with you. She never really argued with you, but we did get into an argument over reservations. We were just so packed, and a lot of our cast members that were in entertainment, that were performing, all their families were coming in, and she went to Becky backstage and was very upset, saying that she knew how to do reservations, and we didn't argue on stage. We were very professional. We just looked at each other like. I've never met someone that I had so much in common with. When I found out she was a Libra, I knew. 11 days apart, our birthdays. I knew it. She was going to be one of my good friends. From working at the popcorn cart across from the Golden Horseshoe, me just standing there with my sunglasses on. She knew I looked bored, so she would try to make funny faces towards me and just make my day even better. I could still hear her voice in my head and her laughter, and I'll never leave, and I'm happy. She made the Golden Horseshoe. She made Frontierland. She made Disneyland. And she just made the world a better place. And like I've heard from someone before, there's so little kind in the world. And the kind that we do have is taken away from us. But as long as we see it, we know. She would always listen to our drama backstage. She would never judge you. She would always listen to you. Every time I had a conversation with her, it just simply made me happy. She was one of my first friends I made at Disneyland when I started. And it's really hard for all of us to just even look at the Golden Horseshoe, to walk by. But we will forever live on in our memories and in our hearts. We will pass down her story, her life, and all we can do now is live on her spirit by being so positive, just like her. Kind and caring, and to one another at the most. And if you don't work at Disneyland, you don't know, we're a family. We spend holidays together. We don't see our families as much as we'd like to, so we become one. And like always, she taught us and showed us life lessons. Unfortunately, she showed us to live it up like how she did, and always be positive. Love everyone, because life itself is too short. I'm going to miss her gorgeous face, and that laugh of hers, and that face she always does. But I can't wait to see her again, because we'll forever be friends no matter what. But right now, in the meantime, she's going to be up there with her moms, rocking out, as always. Hi everyone, my name's Amanda. I work with Stephanie at Disneyland as well. I could probably count on one hand how many times I actually worked with her, but I saw her almost every day. And that's the kind of person she was. The most sweetest, kind-hearted, beautiful person. And every time I think of Disneyland or one of my friends, I'm just gonna see her waving at me with that ridiculous Mickey hand and flashing that little smile. And I'm heartbroken that she was taken from us so early. But I'm so grateful for her, knowing her as little as I did, because she's truly going to be missed. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Katie. I just have to add on to exactly what they had just said. I thought I was this totally awesome, super nice, happy, positive person, and then I met Stephanie, and she made me look like nothing at all. It was horrible. And I know that she does the same thing for all of you all the time, that you want to be just like Stephanie. The kind of person you see her face, and suddenly your face goes, bing, I'm happy now. And all of you, I know, are going to remember her for that. And you're going to go out there and all be better and happier people because of her. Just like I was inspired to be when I met her, and that I will keep doing even more now. I should have done it more before, but you know, for her and for the whole world, all the people that she loved, even though she didn't know them, I know because of her, we're all going to be better people, just like they said behind me. And look at the show of support here and her family, if they didn't know before, which I'm sure you did, know just how perfect Stephanie is. I mean, I don't usually use the word perfect, but it's absolutely right in this situation. So thank everybody, thank you for being here to show her family. I've been thinking about all of you guys since I heard, and I'm glad a lot of people came out to show that kind of support. And I love all of you as much as Stephanie did. That's my goal because of her every single day.
And I'd like to add, your family did an amazing job. You created an amazing woman.
From this perspective, looking at you all out there, it just shows me how much my daughter is loved, not was, is loved. Thank you for coming. Thank you for showing me what she was, who she is, and how much she touched all of you. Thank you for loving her back. My daughter came into my life when she was born. Before she was born, I was at the hospital thinking of what name to give her. And her dad and I came up with Jesse Diego Martin if she was a boy. And if she was going to be a girl, she was going to be Justine Irene Martin. And when I was at one of the appointments, I was reading a magazine, and it was about Princess Stephanie of Monaco. I don't say it right. And I started thinking, Princess Stephanie, Princess Stephanie. My daughter, if she's a daughter, will be a princess. And so that's how she got her name, Princess Stephanie. When she was born, I was changing her diaper, her first diaper. She had this tiny little butt. It looked like a peanut. She became Peanut to the rest of her life. Princess Stephanie Peanut. Her relationship she's had with her cousins, yes, you're not cousins, you're siblings. The relationship she had with her brother and her sister, cherish it, remember it. The relationship she's had with her grandparents. From the very first day she met her grandmother when we came from Guam, I placed Stephanie in Sophia's arms. And Stephanie started babbling for about 20 minutes at 2 months of age. Blah, 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 blah. And Sophia just held her, okay, okay? So when Stephanie got baptized, her Uncle Miguel and her Aunt Sheila just stepped up and been a part of her life. I've always loved her, I've always cherished her. And when they brought Desi in her life, Desi, you were meant to be. You were meant to be her sister. You were meant to be Debbie. You too, Javier. When I look at all the pictures that I keep going through, and I'm sorting through them that create those collages, you three. You called yourself the Three Musketeers, I called you Three Peas in a Pod. And Shalise, you've always been a part of her life. Always. And my family, my mother, my father. Thank you. Thank you for embracing her from day one. When I had given birth to Stephanie, Mom was standing outside of the room and they said, you can't be in there. As soon as Stephanie came out, my mom was holding my hand. She tried to keep me out. She gave her first bath. She even taught me how to feed my child because I didn't know what I was doing. She knew everything. I learned to be the mother that I became because of you, Mom. Thank you. The love, the unconditional love that my daughter gave. I taught her when she was little. I said, Stephanie, beauty comes from the inside, and then it goes outside. And she learned that lesson, and she taught it to us all. Because even just her eyes would light up the room. She had those smiling eyes. I thank you so much for everybody. I know Pat's already said it for us, but thank you so much for everybody that has come today. Susan, the director here, told me that she has never, ever, ever seen people come together like this, ever in her history of working here. From the outpouring of love to the contributions. As a single mom, there's no way I could have afforded what was upcoming. And everybody from the DVD, thank you so much. You captured her heart, you captured her spirit, you captured her soul. You showed our love to her. Thank you. Thank you. And I can't thank all of you who have come from so far and so close. Thank you for being here for her. Her Uncle Mark, I have remembering her holding her, and they were so connected, so connected. There was something that those two had I can't explain. Just this relationship of love. And Mateo and Felix. And if I'm leaving anybody out, it's not because I'm forgetting, it's just because I'm nervous being up here. I can't thank you all of our friends from high school or even here. Friends from college, friends from the Disney program, even friends from my work came because they knew how much she loved them. People from my church, thank you. Thank you so much.
I'm Pat. I am Cindy's boyfriend. I didn't know Stephanie as well as most of you know her. I've met her 6 times when she would come over, and I always enjoyed being with her. And one thing that just popped into my mind, Jeff, is every single time she'd bring you up a conversation. It was a memory, it was this, but every single time, and I never realized that until now. I know, I have kids, and you can't always be close to your kids geographically because people move, and she lived down here, you lived up there, but I just realized that every single time, she'd mention something about her father. We got the news last Friday morning, 1:30. It was a shock, as it was to all of us. And then there's the details that have to be taken care of. This, planning all this, contacting people, endless phone calls. I've never had to be involved in this situation. And once you do, you realize it's so much more complicated than you think it would ever be, the legalities and the paperwork and everything. And how are we going to pay for it? How's this going to happen? I just want to thank everybody that helped. I know I'm going to forget people, but the people that have donated money for this isn't free. People that stepped up. We have family members, friends. There are some people, I'm closing my eyes because I don't want to cry. We have some people who've never met Stephanie who gave money for this, right? And then her, would you stop beaming over there, AJ? AJ, her best friend and roommate, Nick comes up and does this amazing video. Her family, I'm not forgetting, Shelby, Shelby was with Stephanie when she passed. And then we go over to the bungalow and we meet these people and it's easy to stay inside your comfort circle and hang out with people that look like you and act like you and think like you and go to the same church as you. And even though I didn't know Stephanie as much, tip, just her friends are making an impact on me that I never expected. So I'm rambling, but thank you for those people who helped us to get everything done. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, one more thing.
Yes.
I'm just remembering Shelby. Shelby, I hope you don't mind me sharing. But the next morning, after we had left the hospital, this was very hard for me as a mother to walk away from. I didn't want to leave my baby alone. I know she was gone, but it was hard to admit it. We went to the bungalow, and Shelby was there. And every eye that we saw there was so swollen from crying. There was such a remorsefulness there, such a sadness there. And I wanted to kiss every one of you because I know that there was such a deep love there. And Shelby shared with me because I wanted to know, as a mother, I wanted to know what happened to my baby. Tell me what happened. I want to know all the details. Gory or not, I want to know all the details. And Shelby came out of her home, and she sat down and she started to tell me, and I just embraced her and kissed her and kissed her, and I kept telling you I love you, and I still do, baby. And Shelby said that they were getting ready to cross the street. And they were going out for their walk. They had talked about it the night before. They wanted to get healthy and do exercise, and they decided they were going to go for a walk and for a jog. And AJ was part of that trio. Baby. And as they stood on the street there, which, by the way, is a horrible, busy street, if anybody has anything to do to try and fix that, please let me know. I will sign whatever it takes. I will march whatever march. I will be there. You call me, I will see you. But at this intersection, they got ready to cross the street. But there was all these cars. And so AJ started dancing. There was no music. Shelby started dancing, and there was no music. And of course, Peanut started dancing. All three of these little clowns were dancing on the side of the street. And AJ went ahead of them. Shelby told me that she stepped forward to Stephanie. And the next thing she saw was a motorcycle skidding across the ground. And then she saw Stephanie's body go across the ground. And she said she went to go touch Stephanie and she was warm. She was still breathing, but then she was gone. Horrible, horrible tragedy. Unfortunately, the other lady died too, on a motorcycle. That took Stephanie's life that day. But the peace and joy that I have in my heart and in my spirit was that my baby girl was dancing before she went to go dance with Jesus. And ironically, I posted that on Facebook before I even knew the story. I didn't even want to do anything, perhaps I couldn't even get that press now. I just asked her to do it on Facebook, which, by the way, there needs to be a book written about Facebook because every time I'm missing her, I go on Facebook. Somebody tell me something about my baby. Every time I read something about my baby, I feel closer to her. So I can't thank you enough for all of you who have just posted and posted and posted and posted pictures and stories of my angel. Thank you. Because even my extended family, we've all been stalking Facebook. But again, just find peace in knowing that she was dancing. I go dance with Jesus.
I hope when you come up you notice these incredible flowers, these rainbow flowers. They have different colors on them. So somebody says they're now called Stephanie flowers.
Stephanie Roses.
Stephanie roses.
They're not rainbow roses, they're Stephanie Roses.
Hi, my name's Heather. I I can't even remember how we became friends. I changed elementary schools in the middle of 2nd grade and go to this completely different school in Mount Hill. I don't know what happened. We just became best friends. It just happened. And then every single day, it was her, me, Chanel, Sheree, and Dana. We were all together every single day in elementary school. And then, of course, it was heartbreaking when middle school came and I wasn't going to the same school. And I was really sad. And I was hoping we would stay in touch, but it didn't happen like I had hoped. But then, the weirdest thing happened the first day at Palomar College, sitting on a bench, just wondering, oh, gonna be a lonely time here with no friends. And then Stephanie walks by, and I'm like, holy crap, Stephanie. And we just both stop, and we're like, it's you. And then from then on, we just wanted to take every class together. We took creative writing together. That was a great class. It was so much fun. And then we took comic books as literature. That was a great time together too. But every time, I was just really happy to be with my friend again. And then we saw Dana, and we're like, hey, what's up? And she kind of ignored us. And we're like, oh, she grew up. We didn't.
I might have seen her maybe like twice a year or something like that, but every, I wasn't the best father, I wasn't always there, and but when we were, the time that we were together, even if it was only like an hour or maybe like just for an evening, she didn't think it was like we were together all the time, it wasn't just, she wasn't mad at me, she wasn't, it was like nothing was going on. I mean, it was like, she loved me unconditionally, and I liked that. She didn't like. I like that she could call if she needed anything, that she knew that she could call me. She could call me, and that's what. To me, that's I still felt kind of bad or guilty about it, but she could just see through that. She didn't care at all. She needed something to, like if she needed plane tickets or something. She wasn't. She would go ahead and ask me, and she said if you couldn't do that, that's okay too. But I try to help her out. Like I said, I wasn't a fan. But one of the things, Sydney, since I wasn't always there, I wasn't, for a lot of part, for Stephanie coming up, and you did a really good job raising her. Thank you for that. Thank you. Thanks for being here.
Hello, I'm Tiffany. I was Stephanie's first roommate after the college program here at Disney. Many of the Disney characters. That was a great day we had. We took autograph books like we were children, went around the park, met every character we could find, got their autographs. I still have mine, and I'm pretty sure she still has hers in the box. One of my favorite memories of us, she drove me everywhere. I didn't have a car. So we had spent lots of time together in the car, singing and dancing. And every night when we came home with the college program, we would park the car in the parking garage and continue to play music and blast it really loud in the parking garage and get out of the car and dance around the parking garage until the song ended. And I love that, and I remember it. I believe Mariah and Jose joined in on that. I will remember her through every song that we've ever sang and danced to. You spoke about helping out with plane tickets, and I want to thank you very much because you helped everybody come see me about a month ago, and I'm to see her recently because I moved back to Arizona. But thank you very much. We had a great time. She came to see the show that I directed with lots of little children in it. She'd never seen live theater like that before, and it was really great to share that with her, what I like to do and what I love to do. And I will always love her and remember her and miss her very, very much.
I'm gonna have, I think Judy come in. And, she's gonna share just a few last words. I guess like Cindy said, you know, when you stand up here, for those of you that stood up here, and you look out, see all of your beautiful, wonderfully made faces. You understand the absolute waves of love and compassion that Stephanie has brought together. And the thing that I just kept sitting here and listening to, really in my heart that kept resonating, that I want to leave us with a small challenge. The challenge is that we don't let all of these wonderful things that we've said about Stephanie end. The challenge is that we take all of these things to heart and we walk moment by moment and maybe breath by breath, and we love and we leave everything in a better place than how we found it. We leave relationships reconciled. We leave homes put back together. We leave lives better. That we don't stop, and that in honor of Stephanie, that we would continue to walk in our lives in a way that's honoring to her. And honoring to the very thing that every one of you that I've heard share has said that she loved, and she did unconditionally. And I gotta say, for the rest of my life, Tiffany, you were just talking, and I wasn't texting if anyone saw me. I had to get my phone out. I made a note to myself to never let a song end when I get out of the car. You know, that every one of us can take that, slow down. I think about my own children. Think about the people that you're sitting next to. Think about the people that maybe are around you. To not ever let that song end. Just take some time and slow down. Be challenged to love one another, to be engaged in each other's life, to love each other, to leave things better than we ever could have imagined, the way that she loved all of our lives. So I'm gonna have Judy come up and say a few words. And I know that when we're dismissed here, I believe some friends and family are going to be meeting at Johnny's. Johnny's. If you need directions or anything, it's called Johnny's Saloon. It's in Huntington Beach. We've got these little slips that are printed out. All of you guys are invited. So there can be lots of laughter and more stories shared, and we can engage with each other, and we continue perpetuating this idea of loving one another. So, Judy.
First of all, once again, my name's Judy, and I'm one of the directors here, and I'd like to give my deepest condolences. Cindy, Anthony, Pat, Jeffrey, all the cousins, all the siblings is what we're gonna call them, all her friends. Just like Pastor said, there's a lot of love out there. She touched a lot of hearts. As young as she is, she touched a lot of hearts. And that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. I've always, like I tell my kids, I'm a mother. And it's so hard. I've been serving families for 15 years. And believe me, when I do a young lady, one young man service, it's the hardest things. It touches my heart very much. I had kids of my own. It's the most difficult thing to do. But we know Stephanie is up in heaven with the Lord, and she's one of our angels. And she'll be watching over every one of us. Just like Mom said, she's dancing in heaven already. And she's going to keep on dancing, and she's going to want everybody else to do the same thing. But I got a little poem that I want to read to everyone here. And this comes from my heart as a mother, as a director. I've only known Cindy for just a few hours. Anthony, just a few hours. Pat, Jeffrey. But you know what? It seems like I've known you forever. The warmness, the kindness of every one of them, I heard with each and one of you. It's called In Memory of a Special Daughter. It's sometimes so hard to know why some things happen as they do. For so much joy and happiness was centered around you. It seems so hard to comprehend that you are no longer here. But all the happy memories, Stephanie, will help me keep you near. Your thoughts are often, my daughter, Stephanie. Every time your name is mentioned, death cannot change a single thing. But the love that I have for you will always, always remain in our hearts.
Said I was broken, beginning of the end of a life I hadn't chosen. You taught me how to give up. You taught me how to work the system, but I never had the time. I never had the luxury. Life's hard. Always known that I've never been handed no welcome mat. When I die, please don't cry, 'cause heaven's my home anyhow. Feels like time for wasting, 'cause this bright sun is the only shine I need. They say you only live once, that the lot you get's for keeping, but glory's gonna come and make a new man out of me. I've always known that I've never been handed no